Basketball fans, welcome back. So this game was clutch. This game was epic, and I really enjoyed it when I watched it. So we had Ville de Dakar, the new team that is terrorizing the Sahara Conference, and the defending champions, Petro de Luanda. This game was decided by 1 point. 65-64 was the final score. The total people in attendance was 4,556. Let's just talk about this. So Ville de Dakar did that huge power grab and they have their big four. I can even say big five because Maktar Gueye, he has been dominating. And this one, he had a double-double of his own of 16 points and 11 boards. Will Perry did his thing. And Atarma Jock, he had 14 points and 6 boards. So this is Ville de Dakar team have been tearing apart teams. And the only loss that they had was against Creole Star heading into this matchup. And that game, as I mentioned earlier in a previous video, they lost that game by 3 points. But let's just talk about this. This matchup was very important because Ville de Dakar needed to win this game so that they can keep their playoff hopes alive. I know there's no weak spot when it comes to this team. I know when I made a couple of videos talking about this team, I mentioned that the big four. And the big four that the Ville de Dakar team have, they have Atarma Jock, Abdullahi Haruna, Will Perry, and Devin Eke. So Devin Eke didn't come to his own in this one, but he had Maktar Gueye, another guy who went under the radar, especially when I was talking about this team, but he has been a very solid contributor to this squad. And I must say, this is a championship or bust roster because the power grab that they did and the assortment of talent and pieces that they have in that roster, they have the ability to go ahead and go all the way. And the way they have been tearing apart teams in this Sahara Conference, in the second round of games, I don't think they're going to lose any single game. I know I'm not jinxing it, but they have the ability to go ahead and win it. So in this game, the Ville de Dakar team, they shot 35% from the field, 35% on 2-point field goals, and 35% from downtown. So this was a weird start. They shot 35% everywhere. So, I mean, it was a difficult game. You could see the scoring productivity and efficiency wasn't the greatest, but you could see their abilities to play good offense. And even with the defense that was being put up, both teams were holding serve pretty well. And I must say, Petro de Luanda don't look like a frightening team like that. You know, they don't have the services of a Carlos Moraes and Nicolas Foss, guys that bailed them out in that championship run that they had in season 4. So the Petro de Luanda team, even with the services of Abubakar Gaku, Chile Dandao, Gaston Domingos, you know, and Glofante Boambia, I don't think, you know, they are as imposing, they are an imposing team, or they have like too much resistance there. Because if you look at the side by side, if you look at the rosters of Ville de Dakar and the Petro de Luanda team, I must say the Ville de Dakar team, they have the best roster and they have the all-round roster, and they can go, they are too deep and they have a lot of people there in there. So Maktar Gueye, he led the double-double his own. Abdullahi Haruna, he had 15 points in there. Baran Diaye, he had 9 total rebounds for that Ville de Dakar team. And Maktar Gueye, not only did he lead in points and rebounds, but he was second in assists with 4 assists. But if you look at the other side of the Petro de Luanda team, you have Patrick Ghana. He had 19 points, Yannick Moreira 11. Even in that previous roster, you can see Yannick Moreira was another guy who came clutch down the stretch in season 4. I mean, season 5, he's not been as productive because of like the roster shifts, but he's just been holding his own, doing his thing. So Patrick Ghana not only led in points, but also in total rebounds for Petro de Luanda. Then Solo Diabate with his 5 assists. So Solo Diabate, it was another addition that came in their free agency signings. And I must say, at the point guard position, the Petro de Luanda team need a lot of depth in there, because when they have Chile Dandao, Solo Diabate there, I feel like they're still threatening. And given like the repertoire that Solo Diabate has had, he has played in he's played with multiple teams that have gone deep in BAL, because when he played in Zamalek, he won the title. Played for USM in season 2, he won the title. In the past season, he played for the Al Ali Benghazi team. He made it all the way to the finals, but lost to Petro. So yeah, I mean, it's actually quite weird. He lost to Petro in the finals, and he joined Petro de Luanda. So that was very weird. So the SV Dakar team led in rebounds and assists, 47 total rebounds and 19 assists. And man, I mean, it's crazy. And I was expecting this team, the Ville Dakar team, to lead in blocks because they have a Terma jock, but they only had one block to Petro's 3. So it is what it is. So I really enjoyed this game. I mean, this game was a nail biter all through. Petro had an edge, especially in the second quarter, but in the second half, you could see Ville Dakar were always in striking distance. In this game, because the scoring wasn't coming in and there was tight defense, every team had to think differently about how they went ahead scoring, because you had very good interior defense, especially coming from the Ville Dakar team with their deep roster. And also, the Petro de Luanda team were not left behind. They were not a team that was going to let up because they are defending champions. They're trying to see if they can go back to back. So it was a chess match at the end. And as I was watching this game, I felt like there was a high likelihood this game will have gone to overtime. I would have really enjoyed if this game went to overtime, because it will be the first overtime in I can say even in BAL season 5. But I liked the outcome. The outcome was great. I mean, if you look at the Petro de Luanda side and look at the SV Dakar side, Petro de Luanda started off very well. They started the blowout on Creole Star. So when they started that blowout, I felt like, there's a high likelihood that Petro de Luanda can even go ahead and win like 4 to 5 games with the way they played. But reality came in when they got beat from pillar to post by USM. I know that game, it was not a blowout. That game was, kind of weird, because you never expect like Petro de Luanda to get, dominated in that fashion. They didn't get blown out, but they just looked like the little brothers, that team. And in this one, the way it ended, you can see the somewhat Petro de Luanda have slid. They slid to the third spot, a place where they don't want to be at, and they're trying to fight their way back. Then in the ASVL Dakar game, in that team, you could see the way they started was clutch. Majority of the Ville Dakar games have all been decided through the clutch. Because in the first game when they played, the final score was 70-67. So even with the big four, you can even say big five they have in their roster, they've not been dominating teams like that. And it's something that it's interesting, because you would expect a team that has a Terma Jock, Abdullah Haruna, Will Perry, Devin Eke, Maktar Gwe, to be a team that can impose on other teams. But that game against USM, very close, decided by 3 points. Similar to that game against Creole Star, which they lost 3 points, and this one 1 point. So even that matchup, that matchup that we saw, Petro de Luanda versus Creole Star, I was expecting the SV Dakar team to beat Creole Star in a blowout, but that didn't happen. I'm not sure what happened in there, but give credit to Creole Star the way they played. And in this one, even if it was a slow-scoring game, I was expecting at least, a bit of resistance here and there, but this one was a nail-biter all through, because you never knew who could win. It was just a matter of a few possessions, a steal, a turnover, a steal here and there, and a quick stop, easy points like that. But both teams are holding serve pretty well. I really enjoyed this game so much. And you could see Ville Dakar in this win, they led in total rebounds, assists, they led in second chance points, something that is expected for this side. Even despite this loss, you could see the Petro de Luanda team still, held their own. You could see they led in points from turnovers, fast break points, bench points. They had very good bench productivity. I mean, just like I said, like the SV Dakar look like they have like a very, very solid team. They have very solid starters. They look like I have a deep bench in there, but their point spread is not good. And one thing I've seen with BAL teams, when you have very clutch games that are only decided by 3-4 points, you can get knocked out from contention through like the point differential. So it's not something that you would want, because in the grand scheme of things, you'll see the teams that have high point differential and they have a tie record, you could see the team with the high point differential proceeds, and the other team, they have to kick rocks. That's the same thing that happened in BAL season 3, when we had in the SAR conference, you had all the teams had a 3-2 record because only 5 games were played. Then the teams with the high point differential were the ones that are qualifying to the postseason. So not a good look for AS Ville de Dakar. They might even go down if they're not able to blow out a team. They need to blow out a team by at least 20 to 30 points. Because if you look at how Petro de Luanda, even despite their losses, you can see that game against Creole Star gave them the enough point differential to be able to get in and get that second seed, and all things considered. So that's another worrying thing that I've seen with the home team, because I feel like the home team, they have what it takes to go ahead and do it, but if they're not able to blow a team with that roster, it doesn't look good, because the Petro de Luanda team, I feel like they have the cards in their favor. If they can go ahead and blow out, Creole Star again, and they can be able to rectify what they did, and they make the game close against USM, and do their thing, there's a high likelihood they can even go ahead and even pass the AS Ville de Dakar team. So it is what it is. So this is a very crooked system. I've watched how some teams get shafted in there. It doesn't look good. But hey, I always support the home team in there. The home team in Senegal, the Ville de Dakar team, they have what it takes to go ahead and do it. It's just a matter of time, because in the next round of games, we're going to see the changes that they have made, and the games tip off tomorrow, March 1st. We're going to have a couple of games there, and also not only first, we're going to have games on 3rd and 4th, because 2nd will be a rest date. But hey, it is what it is. So do drop me your comments down in the comment section what you think about these games. I mean, I've been enjoying them so much. I mean, I'm watching them through playback on YouTube, keeping tabs on them on social media, and I feel like the way BAL is headed, I feel like this season can be a bit different. It'll be quite competitive, and I'm looking forward to these matchups, because man, I mean, I really really enjoy them, and when they happen smack in the middle of the postseason, I mean, I'm juggling between watching the NBA playoffs and the BAL season. So it is what it is. So like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace out.